What's up, Schwing Dynasty? Your commissioner here, Commissioner Crackhead, according to Mark. Week 14, final week of the season, in the fourth season of the Schwing Dynasty. We've made it to four, the end of the season, with our entire original crew. That's good. That's great. There's actually a lot more to play for than I thought this week. I kind of felt like a few things were locked in because Daryl and Mark are pretty firmly in that number 2, number 3 spot record-wise. We got Devin coming in here. But it turns out it's not actually true because, oh my God, got some no-host teriyaki
Just
chicken.
in case Al's Mediterranean
Al's
doesn't pan out.
Yeah, Al's Mediterranean is going to hit wrong. So it turns out that there's actually, because we're in divisions now, the division winner, I got to grab some of this no-host chicken teriyaki here. Oh, yeah. That's the stuff right there. That's the ticket. It turns out our division champions get a bye. You should not be inside. What's going on? Okay, I'll talk to you later. We'll go play. All right. No, you guys cannot just be wandering the halls during recess. Oh my goodness gracious. Never a minute. Never a minute. Every time I start this. Yeah. Turns out our division winners get the bye. And Bert is currently the division winner. As long as he wins his matchup this week, he'll lock that in. But if he loses and I win, it turns out I am the division champion and get a bye. I had no idea. I honestly thought that was like not a chance for me. So good to know about our divisions. You guys in the Boob Guys divisions are so proud of how good you guys all are. But you're just eating each other alive, and we're over here like, hey, 8 wins can win our division. So great, get that first round bye. So there's a lot to go through with those standings issues. And I didn't even realize it until I started doing my notes. I was like, oh my God, that first round bye is up for grabs. I'm going to start with a game that's Phil versus JD. Doesn't seem like the most impactful game, but I also realized in doing this, JD has a chance to make the playoffs. No, JD has to win, which is unlikely this week, and Sean has to lose, which is possible this week, very possible. Selfishly, I'm now actually rooting for Sean, but if JD were to win and Sean were to lose, unless Sean lost and still outscored JD by like 30 points, JD would make the playoffs and Sean would actually miss the playoffs. We'd have a defending champion miss the playoffs. So if you want chaos, you're rooting for that. I don't. I want Sean to beat Bert so I get the division. But that's the stakes right now. JD needs to win. JD needs to win to give himself a chance to make the playoffs, and then he needs to watch and see if Sean loses his match. Right now, the projection favors Phil heavily, 165 to 99. But JD has 4 positions on bye. He's got 43 potential points sitting on the bench, which would make it about a 165 to 142 spread for Phil. Phil has gotten stronger now. His team's gotten stronger. Justin Jefferson's been great. DeAndre Swift is coming back. A.J. Brown's been awesome. I think Phil's too strong. He wins this. He keeps JD out of the playoffs and keeps Sean in the playoffs, regardless of the result between Sean and Bert. So that's that game right there. I've got Phil beating JD and Nick, knocking him out of the playoffs. Next game I'm going to go through is me versus Lucas. I'm 7-6. I'm number 5. Number 5 in the league. Lucas is 6-7. He's number 8. He's pretty much eliminated from the playoffs. I don't think this will have a major impact on the playoffs, depending on how the other games play out. If Bert wins, this doesn't have very much impact. If I lose, I'm still going to get into the playoffs just based on points for. I think Lucas is too far back. He's like over 100 points behind Sean. So the chance of him winning, Sean losing, and him outscoring Sean by 100 points is pretty much non-existent. So overall, I don't think that this is going to have a huge impact. But if Bert loses and I win this, I already have a points advantage over Bert. I could take the division and get the bye. So that's kind of amazing. I'm picking Lucas to win this, though, because I don't like picking myself anymore. doesn't turn out well. And I'm going to say Jalen Hurts is the reason Lucas beats me. He goes off like he has been doing all season. So that's what I got there. Daryl versus Adam, 8-5. Daryl, number 2 in the league overall standings. Adam, 1-12. Yes, that's correct. 1-12, number 10 in the league. Adam's team has been scoring more points, though. Right now, it's Daryl at 180 to Adam 160. Daryl really needs to win this game to make sure that he stays out of Steve's bracket. If Daryl wins this, he will be locked in as the number 2 overall record, which would put him into the either Bert or my bracket. That would be his second round win, assuming he beats whoever he has in the first round, instead of going up against Steve in the second round, who has the number 1 points, number 1 overall record. So you want him to stay out of Steve's bracket. And if Daryl wins this, he pretty much locks in that he will stay out of Steve's bracket. If he loses this, he leaves the door open for Mark. Now, Daryl is probably going to win this. I would imagine he wins this, but watch out because Adam's team has been scoring more points, but I've got Daryl winning this and locking up that 9th win to keep himself out of Steve's bracket. Next game we've got here is Mark versus Steve. Okay, Steve's locked in. He's got the division. He's the champion of that division. He is number 1 in our league. He will get a bye. He will, yeah, that's locked up. That's done. That's decided. He's got a 2-win lead. Mark needs to win this game to have a chance to pass Daryl to stay out of Steve's division. Now, if Mark beats Steve, maybe he's like, who cares? Let me take him on again and beat him in 2 weeks, assuming Mark wins his first round matchup. But you do want to stay out of that number 1 person's division because they've just scored more points all year long. This has been a pretty dominant point-scoring season by Steve compared to the rest of the field. So Mark needs that victory. But he's playing Steve this week. The projection's 163 to 187. I don't think he's going to get it done. He's going to need Josh Jacobs to be a superhero again. And I don't think so. I don't know. I don't see it happening for Mark in this round. He's obviously making the playoffs, but I think he's going to end up in Steve's bracket. I think Daryl will win. Mark will lose. Mark will be in Steve's bracket. It's out of the bracket. And that takes us to the game of the week, which is between Bert and Sean. Bert's 8-5, number 4 in the league, but number 1 in the Butt Guys division. Sean is 7-6. He's number 6, trying to make those playoffs, trying to keep JD at bay. Sean needs this win to stay safe, to be comfortable with this. If he loses this, JD has the window. Right now it's projected Bert 161 to Sean 151, a very close projection. No, do not go in there. If Sean loses this, he could again miss the playoffs if JD wins, which is unlikely, but it's possible. Sean's QB situation and injuries continue to hurt him. His QB right now is Trevor Lawrence, who is possibly injured, possibly hurt, is practicing a little, I guess. Left last week's game. Who knows if that ankle's holding up or whatever he hurt. It looked almost season-ending at the time. And if he has to pivot, he's got to go to Tom Brady against the Niners, not what you want to be playing. Now, Bert has some players too, but he hurt still. But he's got some players back. Still missing Cooper Kupp, obviously a huge one. J.K. Dobbins still out, obviously he sucks. But he's got some players back now. DeAndre Hopkins is in. Should be good for him. No, you guys do what? No, you guys are not coming. You're not allowed to be wandering the halls during recess. So we have they both have issues. Sean's issues might be bigger. I've got Bert winning this, which puts Sean in danger. It hurts me, obviously, because I don't have a chance to win the division. But what will really cause Sean to lose is because his team comes down with the Kuru disease, or laughing sickness is what this is also caused, which comes from a protein in the human brain that causes a loss of emotional control, hence the laughing, and physical control with shaking and convulsions. And it happens when that protein is eaten. This is also known as the cannibal flu. So Sean's team will lose because of cannibal flu, because they're deviates, they're horrible monsters, and that's why Sean will end up somehow missing the playoffs because JD will overcome Phil's strengths and win, and the cannibal flu will be the reason Sean misses the playoffs. You heard it here first. All right, guys, love you. Next week, what does Santa bring in your Dynasty roster for Christmas. All right. Peace out.